So, hello everyone. And first of all, I would like to start with a story. A few years ago, I was hosting a presentation, and it was to mention that the audience was familiar with the topic I was going to overview. I was waiting for the start. As for a joke, one person from the audience said to me that you have 3 mistakes in the name of your presentation. The reason why I'm starting with the story is the following. Is that we are not going to tell you, can you hear me well? We are not going to tell you only about data management in finance industry, but additionally to that, we will overview what is rates and credit trading platform, and in general, what is IT in finance industry. So my name is Anastasia, and I have joined the bank 10 years ago. At the moment, I work as a lead technology manager in Berlin Technology Center of the Deutsche Bank. So, let's start with the question. What is IT in investment banking? Some of you may think that it's extremely complicated. Some of you may think that people who work there speak the language only they can understand. And I have bad news, it's true. And during the first part of the session, I'm going to show you all the complexity we have. And sometimes it may look a little bit scary, but during the second part of the session, we will overview how we resolve this complexity and how we implement business demand in modern IT stack. So now let's move further. The structure of our session will be as following. I will overview rates and credit trading platform. What do people use it for? And to proceed further, I need you to be familiar with basic definitions, such as what do we trade, where do we trade, and who is trading. After that, I will overview the main challenges that we need to resolve as part of building and supporting this platform. In particular, how to make sure that what do we trade we can settle afterwards, or how to make sure that our trading is compliant with the policies, or how to minimize your efforts on data management to perform such kind of validations. So let's move to overview of rates and credit trading platform. So rates and credit technology stack, the main purpose of it is to provide liquidity on financial assets such as deposits and loans to external clients of the bank. By external clients, I mean hedge funds, other banks, other financial institutions, or insurance companies. The stack operates globally 24 hours, 7 days in a week on both Deutsche Bank and client sides. And we are present in such locations as Europe, APAC, Australia, New Zealand, and America. So what do we trade? What is financial asset? I will overview one example. So let's start with what is bond. Imagine that I'm a Deutsche Bank and I operate in Berlin. I have customers, I give them mortgages, loans, and open accounts, so do my regular activity. Then time goes by and the number of customers is growing. So, and I see, for example, that there are many customers who come to me from Münster. And I come with the idea that I would like to open a branch there. And what do I need to do that? I need money. So, because I need to rent new office, I need to hire staff, I need to register the branch. So for all of that, I need money. The way how I can get the money is the following. I can issue a paper on which it is going to be written $1,000. And in exchange, investor will give to me the real $1,000. Additionally to that, I will write on this paper that in 5 years, I will return this $1,000 back to the investor. Of course, this is not for free. Investor need to receive income on such kind of agreement. And additionally to that, on this paper, I writing down that, for example, once in half of a year, I will pay the interest, 5% in my example, from this $1,000 to the investor. Such kind of structure is named bond. So to get the money, I, as a company, issue such kind of instrument. So usually the bond is described by the following parameters. So the first parameter is, for example, issue date, or issuer, or maybe rating, face value, $1,000 in my example, coupon value, this is 5%, or coupon payment schedule, etc. It sounds like a lot, but we trade not only bonds. So, for example, this is interest rate swap, and this is how it is described. Or I can give another example. This is credit default swap that we also support, and this is how it can be described. What about foreign exchange products? So when I want to buy euros in exchange for dollars, such kind of products may be described like this. And the complexity here, this is the first point when things become complicated, is that we need to understand these products on IT side, because we are building a trading platform. So we need to understand specifics, why people use it, etc. So now let's move to another question. Who is trading? So for every trade, there are two participants, external client and trader or dealer. Traders are employees on a Deutsche Bank side, and their responsibility is to provide a price whenever client comes to the bank with some request. Yeah, and additionally to that, traders are managing the risk. So it was to mention that for different market segments, different traders are responsible for. Now, another question. Where do we trade? So the primary way how we can know about client intention to buy or sell a particular security works as a typical weekend market. So, for example, you come on the market and you would like to buy tomatoes. And you can see one seller who is selling one type of tomatoes with one price. And you can see another seller who is selling slightly different tomatoes with slightly different price. And you can see the third seller who is selling, I don't know, yellow tomatoes, for example, and completely different price. And you, as a client, can find an appropriate for you balance between your needs and tomato price and tomato quality. So the balance that suits you the best. Similar structure in financial industry is named electronic trading venue or multi-dealer platform, and it looks similar to this. So this is incredible amount of ticking numbers, which are actually prices provided by dealers. One of them is Deutsche Bank, and I, as a client, can have such kind of application running on my desktop and decide what do I trade and on which price and with whom. So, and this is the second point where things become complicated. You might think that there is only one trading venue, but it's not true. In fact, there are many of them, and we on IT side need to understand how they are built, so how they are structured, because we need to integrate with them. And these are just an examples. Now we know that in order to receive client inquiries, we need to be present on multi-dealer platforms. It leads to necessity to build market connectors on IT side. And okay, we have consumed client request. We know about it. Now we need to understand who is responsible on trader side for handling this inquiry. Or should this inquiry be handled by Alga? Do we have all the required information to proceed with the trading? Or this particular asset, in these particular conditions, can it be traded from regulatory point of view? So, and we have built order management system where we have write down this logic once, and it resolves these questions across all the diverse trading assets and multi-dealer platforms. So let me summarize what we have covered so far. I have overviewed rates and credit trading platform, and we have overviewed also market participants and trading assets and such definition as multi-dealer platform. Now let's move to another question. What can go wrong in this structure? What kind of challenges do we need to resolve in order to build and support such platform? And this session will be focused only on two aspects. So the first one is validation of incoming requests, and another one is data management that is required to perform such kind of validation. But there are more which are out of scope for this session. For example, questions related to latency or algo execution. So let's move further. The first type of validation. Imagine that we have agreed with the client that we trade. So we have provided the price, and both sides know that this particular amount of assets needs to be transferred in that time for this particular price. What if we do not have account? So account is not opened. Such process to move the assets and to move money is named settlement. So, and in case if account for some reason is not open, you have two actions to perform. So the first one is open account and proceed with the transaction, and the second one is to prevent it from happening in future. And such kind of validation is named preventive controls, and Mariya will show later in this session how it is implemented in our stack, why it was interesting to implement it, and why it wasn't easy to do. So the next question is, there are, as we have overviewed, there are multiple market participants, and there are multiple assets. And we are present in many regions. It also means that there are different regulatory requirements. And for each of requests, we need to be sure that the trading is compliant. So here is another question: how to implement it once and maintain centrally? And the next question, so to perform all such kind of validations, we need data. The data is not only about databases and the tables. It also means maintenance and management, because it has its own life cycle. And it means that we need to build IT around it. And my colleague Arina later in the session will overview how do we approach it in Deutsche Bank. And in the end of the session, as I said before, I was going to show you that it's going to be complicated. After that, you will see that it can be resolved and it's not scary at all. So I will pass my word to Mariya.
Thank you, Nastya. Hello, everyone. My name is Kiseleva Mariya, and I work in the same team as Anastasia. And today I would like to tell you about validation and what kind of problems we had and how we solve it. As Anastasia mentioned before, client sends inquiry to multiple dealers. And Deutsche Bank trader, along with other traders, because usually clients send to multiple dealers the inquiry, responds with a price, and dealer and client hits the best price. This part of trading we called trade initiation or pre-trading. Once the client and a dealer agreed on the price and agreed on other trade parameters, the inquiry became executed. And it is an interesting question. What is happened next? Then we should update risk in intraday risk management system to be able it is required for traders, because trader should be able to see the real picture of what has been traded and his actual book balance. Then trade should be recorded in inventory system. It's kind of global storage for the trade, where you could find all the details about the trade. Next, trade should be confirmed and affirmed. It's additional kind of acknowledgement from both sides about trade terms. Next, trade should be settled. What does it mean, settlement? It means that on due date, security should be transferred from seller account to buyer account, and cash flows should be transferred accordingly from buyer account to seller account. And next, trade should be reported to regulators. It could be some other post-trade events as allocation performed by operation teams. It could be clearing. But the main idea that we have lots of events after trade, after client and dealer accepted on the price. And what if some essential parameters would be absent or missed on initial trading phase? In this case, we failed with settlement, we failed with regulatory reporting, and it is important. For example, one of the essential parameters as quantity is missed on the trade. And as a result, we failed to settle this trade, and on due date, client is not able to receive this security, and it's failed to obligation with other client, and as a result, it could carry reputation risk to the bank. It could be a penalty from client side. And another example, for example, another important parameters as trader name missed on the trade. And we cannot, Deutsche Bank cannot report these trades properly or reported it inaccurately to regulators. And as well, it could carry reputation risk. It could bring us actions as a penalty from regulatory side. How to solve all these questions? On code-base level, the answer is architecture. Having by single order management system with single definition of incoming inquiry, we could easily onboard new venues, as Anastasia mentioned before, new products. Not only we could trade not only bonds but swaps, repo trading, and we could implement, and we implemented in order management system a set of rules to validate incoming parameters. We did it once, once set it up for all our business flows that we have in our stack. From implementation point of view, it could be sounds a trivial task. It is just a simple line on configuration change in code. But the complexity here is related with enablement of such controls. Imagine that in our stack we have more than 115,000 of trades. And we decided to validate one more additional parameters as trader name. How to make sure that we do not lose the 15% of our trade because of this failed validation? And first of all, to solve this problem, we need to define these validation parameters for each flow. Some parameters we received from the external client as quantity, product that they would like to buy or sell, security, assets. Some of the parameters we set in our internal system. For example, it is trader name and trader book. And some of the parameters could be set up in external system. For example, settlement instructions could be set in settlement system. And it is important to define list of parameters that we need for validation in our system. And we could check these parameters and rejected trades in the beginning of the phase. One of the solutions that could be used for this is implementation prod par mechanism that booked production trades in parallel to UAT database and playing with incoming parameters for UAT trades booking, deleting them, updating them, we could collect a list of parameters that we strongly need for our execution. And we define this list of parameters for all business flows that we have. So now we know list of parameters that we need for validation. And the next question, how to stamp these parameters on the trade. In our system, for example, we stamp on the trade trader and trader book. And to do this, we have a storage where we store all the information and auto-consuming mechanism that stamps these parameters on the trade. But since we do not validate these parameters before, let's imagine that this data could be missed or absent in our storage. For example, we noticed that for the trader Johnson from Rate's desk, booked is missed on the trade. And as a result, this trade is failed to process in intraday risk system, and trader cannot see his actual risk in the book. And it is important, we need to collect all these gaps and fix it. And in order to achieve this, we set up a monitoring to alert these gaps. Development team develop multiple Splunk reports for each parameters that is essential for the pre-trading. And these reports allow to monitor these gaps on daily basis, collect them, and address to operation team to fix. So now we know a list of parameters that we need for validation. We know how to collect gaps with missed parameters. And the next question, what values should be in these gaps? For some parameters, only traders know what values should be. For example, only trader Johnson knows what book should be used for booking rates bonds, and it could be different between region. The book could be different for other securities, for example, credit bonds. And in order to solve this, we establish a strong relationship with business analyst who sits on the trader desk and could solve such gaps very quickly. It is important to say that business analyst is part of our development team, along with developers, QAs, PMs. BAs participates in our daily meetings and use this monitoring tool to collect these gaps and to quickly confirm it with the desk, with the traders. So, now we covered validation part and why it is important. And you understand that now we should trade only that we could settle. And now I would like to cover the second part of validation, and it is related with the regulatory and compliance. How to trade compliance with policies. In investment and financial industry, participant must adhere to regulatory and legal requirements to be transparent and to be compliant. For example, they should report trades to regulators. They should verify client identity. And all these actions help to prevent money laundering, financial terrorism, trading with clients under sanctions, and all this illegal activity. And it helps both sides, client and business, to prevent these illegal financial activities. And one of the solutions that I would like to demonstrate you how can we solve this issue is implementing controls, validation of external clients. It is a service, we implemented a service that validates external clients. At first, we have a storage, a golden source with client static data This data is monitoring on daily basis by operation teams and validated. On top of this, we built a service that could rapidly responses if it is allowed to trade with a client or not. It could be multiple reasons when it is not allowed to trade with a client. For example, client is in a red list, client is under sanctions, client is not adopted to trade in this region. For example, it could trade only in UK, but he would like to trade in US or Hong Kong. Or client is not onboarded, has no assigned legals to trade for another product as repo or swaps. And for each inquiry, we sent a request to this validation service that could quickly reply if it is allowed to trade with a client or not. And if it is not allowed to trade with a client, we rejected such inquiry on initial pre-trade phase and do not send trades for further processing. So, as a result, we trade only with compliant client, and our trading is compliant. So, I covered the part with validation, and I will pass my word to Arina, and she will tell you about data management.
Yeah, thank you, Masha. So, hello everyone. My name is Arina, and I work in Deutsche Bank almost for 5 years as a senior business functional analyst in rates and credit department. And I would like to cover how we resolve some data-related issues in investment banking. So why do we need the data at all? So imagine some client comes to us as a Deutsche Bank and he is requesting for price for some financial asset. And the first question which might appear on our side is whether we already know with this client, whether we can trust him, just because we need to eliminate the risks Mariya already mentioned. The second questions which might appear here is whether this client is permission to trade bonds or he already signed his legal papers for, let's say, interest rate swaps as well. And the third question might be how to price this particular bond for this particular client. And to be able to answer all these questions in a timely manner, we need a technology system which will store all this data and which will help us to process it and to amend it. So to give you some impression of the amount of data we have, so we have in our stack, we have more than 150,000 trades done per day, and these trades are done thanks to more than 50 million rows of client-related data. So what kind of challenges and what kind of tasks do we need to resolve in relation to this data? Because I understand that it might seem to be pretty obvious. If you need to onboard a new client, just go to a database and just insert some new rows, and that's it. But over the time, we have realized that it is not as simple as that. And actually, we need to resolve 3 significant challenges, 3 significant tasks. The first one is the high quality of your data. So let me give you the following example. So imagine that there is company A and there is company B, and both of them are our clients. So they are both in our system already. And now company A would like to buy company B, so that every employee from company B should be created under company A as well. And imagine that they still use the same trading accounts in electronic trading venues. So now we have some kind of duplication in our systems, and as we do not have any cleanup mechanisms, just because we never faced this kind of event before, we will have this kind of ambiguity in our data. So now imagine that one of the employees would like to send a request for quote to us, to some bond, And as you can see, this bond is allowed to trade in both company A and company B, but parameters are different for these companies. So how should we on our side decide how to price this particular bond? And our systems will be confused just because here we have some kind of data discrepancy, and it will lead just to failed trade, and we will lose our client. So the solution here is to keep your data as clean as possible, to keep it to the real world as close as possible. And in order to do that, we need to integrate with other external systems data, such as electronic trading venue data, confirmation systems data, with some other systems within Deutsche Bank. And the most important part, we need to do it on a regular basis, just because otherwise you will end up in a situation where you are not able to build any IT on the top of your data, just because it has low quality. The challenge number 2 here is to set up an operational process around management of your data, around onboarding and offboarding of new clients. So in financial industry, this kind of information is usually held by different groups of people. So we call them operations, sales, middle office, traders, and their communication usually looks like this. They're just bombarding each other with numerous emails in their Outlook. And we as IT here, we need to establish an operational process so that to define some rules so that every process participant knows how to answer on all of these questions I mentioned, just because something new will happen, some kind of events will happen all the time, like I mentioned the merge of 2 companies, sometimes we will onboard new locations, sometimes we will onboard new financial assets, so new business opportunities will open all the time. And because of the same reason, we need to face our third challenge. We need to automate our onboarding and offboarding client data management process. Just because, as I mentioned, we are living in an extremely fast-changing world, and new business opportunities will be opening all the time. So we need to adjust our process to these changes. And our way to do it is to write down all the rules we have in a code base, maintain it centrally, and it allows you, first of all, to reduce a manual effort on process participants, and second of all, it allows you to react to all these changes quickly. So let me summarize what we have here. So we overviewed what is an investment banking and what kind of basic definitions we may have here. We also overviewed what kind of problems we can face in finance industry and how to solve these problems both from architectural and from a data perspective. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Anyone? Maybe I will give you the mic. Or not. I think we have lots of people here. Okay. Okay, so let me repeat the question just because we have the recording. So the question is, can we use neural networks for data analyzing? So the thing here is that banking industry is a bit old and our systems are a bit old as well. And what do I mean by it? That this kind of data, it was populated historically more than 25 years ago. And during all of these 25 years, I mean, I'm 25. So, during all these 25 years, some of new data was created. And Anastasia showed you the map of distribution of our stacks. So there are some people who are sitting in New York, some people who are sitting in UK, some people who are sitting in Singapore. And all of these groups of people, they had different point of view how the data should look like. So they had no rules how to set up it properly. So they just had it like in their own own minds. So that's why sometimes that's why sometimes you're not able to build something AI related in there, just because there are some kind of gaps and some kind of discrepancies that you are not able to understand until you as a human will look into them and will systemize it. And also, as Anastasia mentioned, we have this complexity of locations, complexity of products we trade, and it multiplies, and complexity of the years the platform exists. So here you just have lots of corner cases, and for example, I don't know, you can automate one piece of it, you can automate one, I don't know, the onboarding of bonds related data, but this will not help you in onboarding of IRS interest rate swap related data, let's say like this. And here it is one more complexity we face, just because it is super diverse. And here, sometimes you need just look into this by your own eyes, and you are not able to generalize it somehow. So yeah, I would say something like this. Does it answer your question?
I would add something. So let me give you one story. So that's what Arina mentioned about the data structure. And so we were working on the following project. Yeah, so, and we were resolving the following task. We wanted to speed up client time for client onboarding. Yeah, and pretty well, understandable task. Yes, and we have found the cases that some business scenarios can be handled because of bad data quality. And we have started to think how to improve it, but it happened like I don't know, only recently. So what we have described here is our like current view on what can you do with the bad data. Yes, so you need to keep it in sync with the external universe, and you do it automatically. Yeah, and if you apply any rules on the data management, it should be in the code base. So it shouldn't be manual. So it should be a program that is like handling these rules and help people to manage client data. And so answering your question, if it's possible to use any AI. I was thinking about that, but at the moment we do not have a solution, so it's in progress, it's not finalized, and it's gonna be the part of the next session. You're welcome.
Hello. I just wanted to ask how many people work in software development on that, and how many do you have these super top business analysts that know how to fill these gaps?
So let me overview the team structure. So we have several technology centers. One of them is located in Berlin, but we also have, and this is the central one, but we also have teams in New York and in London and in India. In Berlin, we have 5 development teams working on the platform. So, and every team works across the stack. Yeah, so in one team we have backend engineers, we have front-end engineers, we have business analysts, as Mariya mentioned, and so usually the project that the team is focused on, this is like implementation of, for example, a new venue, and the team is fully focused on it for several months, and is responsible for design compilation, to understand customer needs, to like run a demo for the customers, of course, together with BAs. So, and in each team, I would say like about 6 or 7 team members. Yes, sorry. Yes, so business analysts, they are like focused on, I would say, business line, let's say, yeah, and they join the team during the development. So, for example, a recent example, we were focused on the project related to repurchase agreement trading. This is type of financial asset, and our primary customers, they were in London, and business analyst was like joined the team during this time, and on daily stand-ups, on the sprint plannings, business analyst was together with the dev team, and in case if we have like had any questions to our end users, to sales or traders, business analysts could confirm it quite quickly. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Okay, so thank you very much, and we hope that you enjoyed the session. Thank you. Bye.